Hello everyone, my name is Chandler Buck. I'm the Assistant Principal and Activities Director here at Powell Middle School. This presentation is for any incoming 7th or 8th grade students interested in participating in fall activities. Traditionally, every spring we do host a Title I Parent Night. When one of the 3 sessions, I do provide this information to you. Given that we're living under current restrictions in our region and throughout the state of Wyoming, I will be bringing this information to you digitally this year. 2 items that I would like to address before we get started today are the necessary paperwork that needs to be completed before that first day of practice. The first item is an all-in-one participation agreement form. This can be uploaded from our website. It is also made available through this presentation. I've provided a hyperlink where you can upload and complete this document. Second item is a physical. Physicals need to be current and dated no earlier than May 1 of 2020. Physicals can be completed through any of your family physicians. However, if you would like to go through Powell Valley Healthcare, we have got some systems in place that have changed a little bit this year due to the current restrictions. If you'd like to schedule through PVHC, we do ask that you call Powell High School. Mrs. Walsh will direct you to an available time and date where you can schedule an appointment. We've got our tentative dates listed down here below. The second phone call will be from Powell Valley Healthcare to you to confirm your appointment as well as collect your payment. As you can see, we would like to offer our physical dates throughout the summer months on Wednesdays. We do understand August is a popular time prior to that first day of practice. So as we learn more later in the summer, we'll be sure to communicate those dates out to you. Here I've provided both of the documents previously discussed. We do ask that your student signs the all-in-one participation agreement form along with the parent or guardian. And then on your physical exam form, please fill out the individual information up here in this first box. That just helps with the efficiency of time before going into that scheduled appointment. If you'd like to upload these documents through the 2 hyperlinks provided below, welcome to do so. They're also made available through whsaa.org or through our district website here at pcsd1.org. Unfortunately, our doors are not open during this time due to the current restrictions. We do plan to tentatively opening up our building to the public July 21st. If you'd like to get that paperwork into the front office, we provided 3 different options for you here. We're also available to collect that paperwork the first day of practice come August of 2020. Concussion is a topic of concern and deservingly so. I like to cover this every spring to ensure the safety and security of our student athletes when they're out there practicing in competition. We do work very closely with local healthcare providers. We're blessed to have that relationship, and we're very fortunate to have a full-time athletic trainer provided to us through Powell Valley Healthcare. Alan Hill has done a fantastic job working with our coaches and sponsors at the high school and middle school level. He ensures that we are current and up to date with our latest training, the latest research that can be provided to us, again, just to ensure the safety of all of our student athletes. For contact sports, we also administer a baseline test. This is called the impact test, and this provides us the necessary data to ensure the safety of return to play should the unfortunate situation come up where a student athlete is diagnosed with a concussion. We do proctor that exam for all contact sports, football and volleyball in the fall, basketball and wrestling, and then now soccer in the spring. We do check out a game day uniform for each of our programs at the beginning of the season. We will collect those at the end of the season and administer fines if necessary. Game day expectations or dress travel expectations will be communicated to you through your coach or sponsor. We have very high expectations of our student athletes at both Powell Middle School and Powell High School. Individual expectations will be at coach's discretion. So you can expect that weekly communication through itineraries, through our Remind application. Our coaches do a tremendous job communicating to all parents and guardians, so you can await that come next year. We ask that all of our student athletes do travel with the team to competitions, whether that be after school or during the weekend. If you would like to bring your son or daughter home from that competition, you can certainly do so. We provided a hyperlink here where this form will be filled out by you or your spouse. to indicate if this student is going to be traveling home with you, a family member, or even a family friend. This is then sent into the front office. You can drop it off here in the front office or email it in to Mrs. Sanders or myself, and then we will communicate that to the coach to make sure all athletes are accounted for. Stepping into attendance here, we do ask that all student athletes are present for the full day of school prior to competition. If that competition lands that afternoon, they should be accounted for in each of their class periods. If the competition lands on the weekend, they should be there the full day prior to that Saturday date. There are exceptions, certainly, if you have a family emergency or if there is a previously scheduled doctor's appointment. We appreciate all communication to the front office. We will run an academic report every Monday afternoon for eligibility. If a student athlete has 2 or more failing grades in any of their courses, they would be considered or deemed ineligible for that following week. We would also account for student behavior. Ineligibility would maybe consist of alcohol, drug, or tobacco violations, any other behaviors associated with the school. We also take into consideration our academic accountability system, formerly known as ZAP. If a student has not submitted work for more than 3 days, we would ask that they stay after school with a teacher until 4 p.m. to complete that work before going on to practice. There are times where a student athlete may have 1 failing grade and multiple missing assignments. Those individual conversations would be had with parents, guardians, as well as that student athlete to determine eligibility for that week. On this slide, I've just provided the number of practices necessary prior to that first competition. As you'll see for our first practice start dates, fall athletics, we have built in a buffer. There are more than 9 or 10 practices prior to that first competition in case something does come up, student athlete becomes ill or family must travel, etc. There are some overlap later on in the year. I know that swimming and track or soccer does overlap slightly. If you do have a student athlete that is swimming and would like to run track or play soccer, this overlap in season, these last week practices will count towards eligibility for that spring sport. So we can communicate that specific information later on in the school year. This is for safety measures and certainly for equity. Those that are committed to the programs will play and see competition. One of the great things we have in place here at the middle school is that we do not cut any individuals. We ask anyone that's dedicated and willing to come out for a program, do so in middle school to get that exposure. That being said, when there's 25 to 35 students in a program, it's not realistic to get everyone on the field or on the court in a given competition. We work very closely with a lot of the surrounding programs in our conference to schedule additional competitions for all of our students. You may see the traditional A, B, or C squad format. You may also see an orange or a black team format. This is communicated by your coaches before the season. It's also sent out through itineraries and rosters on a weekly basis. I'm sure your coaches will speak to this, but whether your student athlete lands on the A, B, or C squad, orange or black team, this is certainly not set in stone. We want to offer our student athletes the opportunity to work toward their goals, and this is very fluid. This can change on a weekly basis. Again, within the middle school philosophy, we are all about exposure and we're all about the experience. So that being said, as opposed to high school, fall, winter, and spring sports, you can see that we have 5 different seasons here at the middle school level. This provides our student athletes the opportunity to try everything, just about everything, throughout their middle school career. It also alleviates the potential burnout for individuals and really just provides our student athletes the opportunity to enjoy their experience and determine what they would like to be dedicated to as they move up into the high school programs. If your student athlete is a homeschool or virtual school student, we do ask and require that you go through the WHSAA in order to fill out necessary paperwork to cover catastrophic injuries or that catastrophic insurance. Very reasonable payment for a middle school student. Once this is completed and submitted through the WHSAA, they will then notify us that student athlete is ready to participate in any school-sponsored activities. Also, along those lines, we ask that these homeschool and virtual students provide proof of an active completed physical form, as well as proof of immunization prior to participating in those school-sponsored programs. Here are our tentative start dates for fall of 2020. As you can see, our first day of school is Tuesday, August 25th. All of our programs will begin before that start date. Football falls on the Monday prior, and then you can see the week before we have volleyball starting on the 19th and 20th, cross country as early as the 17th. Cross country, parents, guardians, we will start with a parent meeting hosted here in our Powell Middle School Library at 4 p.m. Proceeding will be their first practice. You can also find this information online at pcsd1.org for any updated information or any information pertaining to athletics here at the middle school. We will also communicate out any changes to these dates as we learn more throughout the summer. Here I've provided individual head coaches for each of our fall programs. Feel free to reach out with any questions regarding fall sports. I know each individual coach will communicate out our schedules and any other pertinent information as we get closer to those dates. You may also be receiving a survey expressing interest of student athletes here this spring. We typically meet with all of our student athletes here in the building in spring months to see what the interest is and who is planning to attend first day of practice. Unfortunately, with virtual learning, we have to take the avenue of surveys. So expect those coming out from each coach here in the next month or so. Powell Athletic Roundtable has been a tremendous support to all Powell High School and middle school programs. They've had a strong tradition of Panther pride here in our community and have assisted with individual needs, hospitality rooms, scholarships, etc. If this is something that you would like to contribute to or be a part of, please reach out to our president, Tracy Walsh. I've provided his contact information for you here. I know we also reach out with membership application later in the fall of August and September. In closing here, I did want to provide, once again, paperwork can be mailed, faxed, or emailed into the front office here at Powell Middle School until June 8th. That is when we do take a month off for the summer. We will reopen our doors, hopefully to the public, July 21st. And then as a reminder, those first practice dates, we will update those through our district website, our school website, and communicate out any other pertinent information as we get closer to that first scheduled practice date in August. Student athletes, please enjoy your summer months. Stay active, stay safe, stay healthy. Please don't hesitate to reach out to the front office with any other questions or information that you may need. We'll continue to update you as we learn more. And until then, go Cubs, go Panthers, and take care.